watching Masa Ito's Rock City.
さて、ドリームシアターにマイク・ポートノイが十数年ぶりに復帰してパラソムニアというアルバムをリリースしました。パラソムニアっていうのは夢を見ている時に起こる異常なさまざまな現象、例えば悪夢を見るとか夜歩いてしまうとか、そういういろんなことがあるじゃないですか。ドリームシアターなんで、そのドリームにスポットを当ててやってるってのもポイントだけども、やっぱりマイク・ポートノイが加入すると新たなマジックが生まれますよね。とても不思議な現象だと思います。今日は復帰した、マイク・ポートノイにドリームシアターの新作をたっぷり語っていただいています。例えばマイクがいた時代だとアルコール依存症の治療へのプロセス、それから悪夢みたいなもの、そういったテーマをあなたはドリームシアターに持ち込んだということはファンならよく知られています。で、今回のこのパラソムニアも世界観的に言うとそういうものじゃないですか。あなたの意見が相当強く反映されているアルバムのように思えるんですけど、どうですか
？Well, musically, yeah, but I mean, if you're talking strictly lyrical, the different lyricists each had free reign to write about whatever they wanted to write about. We had the common topic of Parasomnia as a jumping off point for each of the lyricists, but myself, John Petrucci, and James LaBrie, who wrote all the lyrics on the album, we each had our own, we had plenty of space and freedom to write about whatever we wanted. So, I wrote the lyrics to Midnight Messiah, which for me was fictitious, which is something that I don't always write about. A lot of my lyrics have, in the past for Dream Theater, came out of personal experiences. The 12-Step Suite, A Change of Seasons, The Best of Times, Honor Thy Father. Those are all songs I wrote directly out of life experiences and things I went through personally. So to write about a fictitious kind of story like I did with Midnight Messiah, it was a little bit of a different experience for me. So I don't know. In answer to your question, I think I only had impact on my lyrics. I think everybody had a lot of freedom with their individual lyrics to write about whatever and however they wanted to.
マイク・ポートノイが入るとドリームシアターのサウンドが大きく変わるんですよ。これ不思議な現象だと思うんですけど、あなたはどういうものをドリームシアターにもたらす男なんでしょうか？
Well, it's not really. Well, first of all, I appreciate you saying that. Thank you very much. And it is. It is not really for me to say. I can't sit here and pat myself on the back and kind of tell all the things I bring to the band. I think it's more for the fans or the listener to kind of come up with that opinion. But I think it's pretty well known what I bring to the band. It's been this way since the beginning of the band 40 years ago. I was always contributing in every area, not just the drums, but the collaborating on the music and the lyrics and the melodies and the production and the merchandise and the fan club and all, everything that goes into being in a band. I'm a very hands-on type of person. So for the first 25 years of the band, I oversaw all of that stuff. And then when I left the band, the guys had to kind of figure out how things were going to get distributed amongst themselves, and that was, however they decided that's what the way they continued without me. And now coming back in the band, I've had to be very, very respectful of what they've been doing all the years without me. It's a very different organization than when I left in 2010. When I left in 2010, I was a control freak and overseeing everything and very protective over everything. But now coming back, I need to respect that they've been touring for all these years without me and making records without me, so they have perhaps different ways of doing things. So I had to come in very respectful and kind of tippy-toe my way around each area to see how much they wanted from me, or there are some areas where they put complete control back into my lap. There's other areas that maybe they wanted to retain some control and maybe ask me to take a step back. So, it's been a learning process over the past year or so how the new chemistry was going to function, and it's been very easy. I think we're all older and wiser at this stage of our lives. When I left the band in 2010, I was in my early 40s. Now I'm in my late 50s, and I think as you get older and you have more life experiences, you learn more. You learn how to behave in a more mutually beneficial way and try to be respectful of other people's opinions and ideas. And that's a lot of the stuff I learned all the years outside of Dream Theater. I did so many other bands and projects and albums, each one of which had a very different chemistry that I would have to adapt to. So I think adapting to all those different situations throughout the years really helped me to be more of a team player than maybe I was the first time around.
マイクが戻ったことで起こった現象のもう一つはですね、会場の規模がツアーの会場の規模が大きくなったってことです。このマイクが復活したコンサートもロンドンの O2 アリーナのヘッドライナーから始まってますよね。マイクが入ることによってビジネスの規模がドリームシアターのビジネスが大きくなった。これもやっぱりマイクがもたらしたものじゃないんですか？
Well, that's, I guess, something that isn't debatable. I think that is indeed a fact, not an opinion, because you just look at the numbers and they speak for themselves. I think it just shows that there's just a lot of excitement for this lineup to be reunited, and this lineup made a lot of albums together and spent a lot of years touring together, played so many shows together, and it has a special place in a lot of the fans' hearts. So the business has been great. I know our manager and booking agents and the promoters are all very happy. All throughout Europe and South America, we're playing sold out arenas, and I know the business has been great. So I think I've heard it said from the band and the management that it's the biggest. These have so far been the biggest tours that Dream Theater has ever done. So I guess absence makes the heart grow fonder, and I think just a lot of people are excited to see this lineup back together again.
それと40周年のコンサートとパラソムニア新しいツアーと分けて2つできて話題になって、この2つも話題になってるっていうのもすごく斬新なアイデアじゃないですか。それも結構前から計画してたことなんですか？
Well, we knew right from the beginning of making the decision to come back together. We knew that the first thing that was going to happen was to make a new record. I think the band already had that on the calendar even before we had made the switch. They had made the switch. So all along, the plan was to immediately start with making a new record and then touring once the record was done. So, we knew that once we started touring that we wanted to be celebrating the reunion and we wanted to be celebrating the band's anniversary. So it kind of worked out in a way that we were able to have many, many months of touring before Parasomnia is even out. That gave us a chance to get comfortable together again on the road, and we got to do an entire European tour, an entire South American tour, and get comfortable again and do a tour that's celebrating the band's history and looking back. And now that the album is about to get released, a few months from now, that's when the touring will shift more towards focusing on the new album, and then that's when we'll start to look forward. So it's almost like this world tour is going to go through kind of two phases. The first is the 40th anniversary phase, and then it'll slowly transition to the Parasomnia phase where we play the album in its entirety, but that'll be later on in the year. But it's kind of cool this way. I'm glad it worked out this way because it gave us a chance to really celebrate the anniversary and look back before we look forward.